Hey.
Welcome to episode 2 of the 3-3-3 man power trip. We're kind of running out of things to talk about, so we're going to talk about some remaining free agents, and I guess our thoughts on them.
Right.
Maybe where they could be a good fit.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest one right now, well, I guess there's two, but we'll start with Cam Newton.
Start with quarterbacks.
Start with the quarterbacks.
Cam Newton is the top quarterback remaining.
And he won't sign as a backup.
Mm-hmm.
Which leaves him two options. The Patriots and the Jags.
Yep.
And everything that I've read said the Patriots are not interested.
They're not interested and they don't have the cap. I mean, unless if he really were just $1 million or $2 million.
I still find this Patriots quarterback situation very puzzling. I
I'm
don't know what's going on.
We don't know what's going on, but Belichick does.
To me, I think they're rolling with Stidham.
Stidham.
He knows the system.
They got him and Hoyer. So
They've both been in the system. I think really they're just going to ride those two out.
But as far as Cam Newton, I mean, unless the Jags sign him,
Right, yeah.
I guess he's going to sit the year out.
To me, the one place I can see him going is Washington.
Okay, yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess that's
That's an option.
To me, Alex Smith obviously has had his injury or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I could see Cam beating out Haskins.
Well,
And-
Ron Rivera didn't draft Haskins, so
And
he's not tied to him.
So,
he knows Newton and what you're getting out of Newton.
Right.
To me, that'd probably make the most sense of that, or probably the Jaguars.
I think the Jaguars makes the most realistic sense because their quarterback situation is kind of rocky too. With Washington, you have Haskins. Rivera's not tied to him, but that's their future.
What to me though, if somebody was really interested in having him as a quarterback, you think he would have got signed by now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
but he doesn't want to accept the backup role, and that's making it real tight because the rest of the teams have kind of got their guy going forward.
Well, and especially after the Andy Dalton thing, you know what I mean? Like, now that he got snatched up, you think other teams would be trying to be like, oh my God, we got to get a court, and nothing. So, I don't know. Maybe there's something going on that we don't know about.
Right.
So, on this, I don't know if you guys looked at this, it says the best landing spots.
Mm-hmm.
Jacksonville we covered. Houston,
What?
Tennessee, Arizona, and Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay
None of
isn't
those-
going to happen.
None of those make any sense.
Jacksonville does, but Houston already has what? This is
Unless they're talking about
backup roles, right? Unless it's a
Which-
backup role.
I mean,
I don't know.
the only other thing I could see him going to Houston unless they trade Watson to the Patriots. Something. Which,
Right.
hell, they got Hopkins. Arizona got Hopkins for a second round.
Yeah. So
I'm sure Belichick's dog can do something.
I don't know. At this point,
I hear you.
at this point, I mean, for him, I mean, you're either going to take a backup job or you're going to
not have a job.
not have it. Yeah.
Right.
Or, I mean, if an injury happens.
Right. Something opens up.
To me, though, I think Washington would be the easier one to try winning the job.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if he could beat Minshew out.
I don't know. A couple other quarterbacks that are still on the market. We got Flacco, Bortles, Glennon, Kessler, and Trevor Siemian.
Really, the biggest two on there is Flacco and Bortles. I mean...
And they are what they are.
They're going to go somewhere and be backups.
Right.
I mean...
Even really with Joe being a Ravens fan, I think he kind of took his paycheck and he kind of
Yeah. Washed out of the league a little bit.
I mean, he lost the job in Denver early in the season.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't surprise me if he retires.
I could see that.
And Bortles,
Yeah, but Bortles is going to be he's going to be a backup for sure. On to running backs. The top name remaining, and this is kind of surprising, Devontae Freeman. I can't believe he hasn't got snatched up yet.
Yeah. I think he's had some injury issues. I don't think he's as good as he once was. I don't think he's going to go anywhere and be a starter. He'd be a good number 2 or...
On this, it says the best landing spots, and the Jets. I don't see that happening now with Gore being signed. Jacksonville, Chargers, Tampa Bay, and San Francisco.
I could see Tampa Bay.
Tampa, because they do need. San Francisco really doesn't need.
Right. San Francisco's got a three-headed monster. I could see the Chargers kind of split in time.
With that core.
Or Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Jacksonville is going to hold on to Fournette. So, yeah, he would be a backup there in Jacksonville. I don't know. He would get snaps, but, it'd be splitting snaps, and he'd be the number 2. He definitely wouldn't be the number 1.
Some other running backs that are still available: Carlos Hyde, LaShawn McCoy, and Lamar Miller. Weird seeing LaShawn McCoy on that list, but I guess he's getting a little older. So,
I mean, really, these guys are all second, third.
Yeah, anymore. Yeah.
While we're talking about running backs, Frank Gore. He is returning. He did sign a 1-year deal. He's about a 12 or 1,300 yards away from being number 2 on the all-time yardage list at running back.
He signed with the Jets and with the Jets, right?
Yeah, I don't see him getting the 12 or 1,300, but man, he's gonna.
Apparently, the Raiders were interested in him, and I guess he turned it down because of Adam Gase. Since he's worked with him before.
But I mean, with his career numbers, with being number 3 on the list, with his career consistency, do you see him as a Hall of Famer?
Yeah.
I agree. He wasn't the flashiest. Yeah. He wasn't the Peterson, but he was just consistent.
And, well, really the biggest thing is, him, Peterson. Gore stayed healthy, Peterson didn't.
Right.
Because I think
Peterson had an injury, and then he had a lawsuit.
No.
So Peterson missed. Yeah, he missed a little time.
I think you'd see Peterson probably be at 2 right now.
I do too. I think Peterson would have truly been
higher on the list. I don't know if anybody's ever going to catch Emmitt Smith.
Yeah, Emmitt's going to be tough.
Lamar Jackson will.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Wide receiver.
Paul Richardson and Taylor Gabriel. What?
Those are guys. I mean, they're not really.
Sounds like Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
They're not starters, really. I mean, they're just.
Yeah. This article here says they're budget field stretchers or a jack of all trades.
The best landing spots for Richardson is Seattle, Green Bay, and Jets. I would say Green Bay.
Yeah, because they don't have Devontae Adams, and then they got nothing.
Right.
Here's one. Gabriel's Philadelphia, Dallas, and Miami. I don't really see why Dallas
would need a receiver.
Maybe as a wide receiver 4. Because I think Lamb's definitely going to be in as the wide receiver 3.
And I could see Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Josh Gordon's on the market.
Demarius Thomas.
I think Josh Gordon better just pack it up and go home. I mean,
hey, it's isn't it legal now?
He could have.
He technically is.
How's he suspended?
Honestly, he could have been one of the best wide receivers, I think, and he screwed it.
He screwed his own career up.
Look what he was doing in Cleveland with like nobody's throwing him the ball.
Bad.
Yeah, you have him in fantasy.
Yeah.
And Tavon Austin's still out there, and Delaney Walker, technically a tight end, but he is on the list.
Delaney's getting old.
Yeah, Delaney's getting old. I mean, Tavon's about like the other ones. He's kind of a slot guy.
He's your
gadget. He's going to be a gadget, right? Returner, budget.
So, on to left tackle.
The man.
The old man, 38-year-old Jason Peters. I think he'd be good for somebody for a year. I mean, he's still pretty solid for being that old. He's kind of like Andrew Whitworth, for the Rams. He can still play at a high. I'm seeing a lot of these guys, these offensive linemen, playing in their late 30s, and they're still holding up pretty well, which is kind of shocking.
Best spots for Peters: Philadelphia, Denver, and the Chargers. It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Other offensive linemen, you got Ronald Leary, Justin Britt, Cameron Irving, Marshall Newhouse, and Kelvin Beachum.
Beachum?
You know any of those guys?
Yeah.
I mean, I know some of the names.
They're nothing, I mean...
Yeah, I don't really know where any of them would land. It's just kind of is what it is. I mean, they'll probably take a backup role, or if, there's an injury throughout the season, just, the guys are going to stay in shape, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So just be prepared for
Be
something
prepared.
Always.
Always.
And probably the next biggest name other than Cam that a lot of other people are talking about going on a defensive end.
Well, I'd say this is probably the highlight.
This is
free
the
agency.
highlight
These
of
two
free
guys.
agency was Cam, and then this is the second one, Jadeveon Clowney.
And Everson Griffin.
I know about that.
Both.
The best landing spots for Clowney is Seattle, the Giants, New England, or the Jets. New England definitely, that'd be deadly for their defense. But New England doesn't have a lot of cap space. I keep going back to that. I don't... And Clowney's wanting like 17 to 20 million.
From what I read today, Seattle's going to be out on him, I think.
So that leaves him with the Giants and the Jets, or just anywhere else that he can find.
Any team would take him.
I don't think he's going to get what he's asking. I don't think he's going to get 17 to 20 million. He's going to have to settle for 14 13, 14 million.
And he may just have to take a 1-year deal.
Right. 1-year deal, get through the season, and then re-up next year when teams have more cap.
Well, they said now coming out, I think it's Eagles, Cleveland, Baltimore.
Mm-hmm. But he's not going to get the 17 million. That's already that's off the table.
I think he'll sign like a 1-year, 2-year deal, something short. To me, the best spot would be Baltimore. I'm just saying that with the way the defense...
He wants everybody going to Baltimore. Best spot would be Dallas, too.
I mean, if you think about it. I think Baltimore, though, because there's actually enough. There's a secondary, there's a line.
Right.
That's personally me. Everson Griffin, I could see him going back to Minnesota.
Come back.
Yeah.
Come back.
Minnesota, Tennessee, or maybe Oakland for Griffin.
I think he's going to come back. I do. Because he's like, 32, I think. So he's played his whole career there. This offseason, you're not going to have a lot of time to learn a new playbook.
Right. He already knows the system, the playbook.
And being his age, and he's had some mental health things, and I don't think teams can do a lot of research on that right now, and they can't get him in their facility, and I think maybe he will have to come back.
Like a 1-year deal?
Maybe a 1-year deal, but I hope he doesn't leave. But
I agree. I think that's going to be his best option, is just to, like you said, come back, and because of the reasons you said, the teams, everything shut down because of the coronavirus, and it's going to be a lot harder this season in particular to do all those things, visit the other teams and all that. It's going to be a lot tougher. On to defensive tackle.
Mike Daniels and Damon Snacks Harrison. Which, a couple older guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the best landing spots for Daniels, Dallas, Cleveland, and Houston.
I wouldn't mind him in Dallas. He's like I said, a vet.
Run stopper.
Showstopper.
He's a big man.
In Dallas, we need help at defensive tackle.
You got Gerald McCoy.
Oh, that's true.
The man.
I mean, but this would add depth. You know what I mean?
I don't nobody need depth.
It would add depth to the roster.
Then you got for Snap.
But it is what it is.
Houston, Indy, and then New England again.
New England wants all these players, apparently.
Yeah, they do. I would like to see him maybe in Indy. Indianapolis is like a good...
Yeah, they're starting to turn things around, though.
Other defensive tackles is Akeem Spence, Jerron Reed, and Xavier Williams.
Backup guys, pretty much.
Yeah, backups.
Then we move on to linebacker. Outside linebackers, Marcus Golden and Nigel Bradham. And then inside linebacker, Michael Kendricks and Alec Ogletree. Michael Kendricks, he almost went to prison, I think, there for a little while. What was it, like insider trading or something? Or
yeah.
Some good players. I mean, Alec Ogletree, he once was really good.
Right.
But I think he's kind of fell off a little
He's
bit.
aging a little bit. Teams that need help at linebacker specifically, the Rams, the Chargers, Jets, Cincinnati, who needs help at everything, and Carolina, because Carolina... I can't think of the guy's name, but he retired.
Where at?
The Carolina.
Oh,
Rick Olsen?
No, not Olsen. The linebacker.
Oh, Kuechly.
Kuechly. Yep, Luke Kuechly retired from Carolina, so Carolina's definitely on the list for need for linebacker help.
Yeah.
So then other linebackers on the market. Teo and his woman.
Where's my woman?
Yeah.
Where's my girl?
Was it Stephon Anthony, Darren Lee, Mark Barron? I'm surprised he's still available.
Clay Matthews is available as well.
Anthony
Chiquillo.
I can't. It kind of surprises me to see Clay Matthews on this list, but kind of like you were saying with the other top guys, Ogletree and Kendricks.
They're getting older.
They're getting a little older, and Matthews used to be a dominant force.
Oh, I know.
And now he can't. Now he can't even find a backup spot. Yeah, I mean it's weird.
No.
It's weird as the league is getting younger. All these guys that we
grew up with,
and grew up with, and we know them by name, they're all starting to fall out of the league slowly. Cornerback.
Really, this just got released today about this guy.
Logan Ryan.
He's not coming back.
He's not coming back. And I see best landing spots: Washington, Vegas, Philadelphia, the Jets, Colts, and the Chiefs. I think the Vikings could be interested in him too. I've heard rumors they need some...
Do the Ravens need him?
No.
I'm just messing with you. I mean, it's always good to add depth, though.
He's a good corner. I mean,
another one on here. I wouldn't surprise Dallas. I would say Dallas is also another one that needs to get another corner with Byron leaving.
Right.
They got other corners on the market. Drew Kirkpatrick, Prince
Amukamara.
Yeah, that's good. That sounds good.
Prince Amukamara, Eli Apple, and Tremaine Johnson. Eli Apple is definitely a name that Dallas knows.
Apple.
Which those guys aren't. None of those guys are going to be your number ones.
Right. They're going to add depth. Yeah. Exactly.
So then you move on to safety. The two main ones are Eric Reed and Eric Berry.
The Erics.
The Erics.
Wouldn't that be weird if they both got signed to the same team?
The best landing spots for Eric Berry are the Colts, Cowboys, Browns, and Falcons. Best landing spots for Reed are the Eagles, Cowboys, and the Rams. So Cowboys need some safety help. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Other safeties,
we do.
Other safeties got Rashard Jones, Morgan Burnett, Tony Jefferson. It's kind of weird because those used to be like the guys.
Right.
Yeah.
About 3 to 5 years ago.
That's what I was saying about Clay Matthews, man. It's just like it's so weird seeing these names and they can't even find jobs now.
Yeah. But
anyways, that's it for our available free agents. So
I guess the kickers and punters aren't important.
Yeah, kickers and punters weren't even on there.
Discrimination, man.
Yeah, it is.
Bastards.
Anyhow, that's it for episode 2.
Tune in.
Mm-hmm.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, comment, like, subscribe. Give us something. Give us a little bit of loving.
Comment anything.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
I love you.
Fuck.